to the next subject. Mr. James Gunn. Mr. James Gunn has been making a lot of headway in the news because of the success he has had with the Suicide Squad that dropped this year. I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to go. In fact, I'm going next week to go see this movie because one, I like the DCEU. Two, I like the Suicide Squad, so I want to see where they're going to go with the Suicide Squad. But James Gunn isn't just in the news for that. The possibility of him making more projects in the future for DC has been brought up a lot lately. One of them being a possible Justice League movie, a possible Justice League versus Suicide Squad movie, Superman movie, and I just want to go ahead and just get my thoughts on that. First of he has done he has had his hand in a couple of movies that I've actually really movie in 2002. Didn't really like that movie, although I will say I did like the focus of the characters, how it wasn't they weren't just sunk into the same roles they typically would have been in like the shows. So it was more focused on the characters, and I really did like that. Which I can actually see that he has a really good focus on a pretty big cast and everything. He was a writer in Dawn of the Dead remake. Really enjoyed that. Scooby Doo 2. Really enjoyed that. Slither. Really enjoyed that. Super was surprised with that movie. That was a really good movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, enjoyed that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, enjoyed that movie. He had his hand in Brightburn, really enjoyed that movie as well. So since he moved over into the superhero comic book movie genre, he's done pretty good so far in my eyes. He's done more movies than that, but a lot of the movies that I've seen so far that's on this list either had pretty big, not big cast, but they had some characters. They had a decent sized cast and a good focus on different characters, as well as them being humorous in a lot of aspects. Scooby Doo 2 had some humor to it. Slither horror had comedy to it. Super weird movie, but it had its moments where it was pretty funny too. Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. So where are my thoughts about him and the Justice League movie? Well, honestly, I would have preferred Justice League have a sequel uh, rather than a Suicide Squad. And even now, when the Suicide Squad is out, I would still want, if he is going to do a Justice League movie, I don't want him to do a Suicide Squad versus Justice League movie. I would want him to do a continuation of what Zack Snyder did with the Snyder Cut, because all of the characters are so far already developed. Now, the thought process from what I had gathered on what he had said about Justice League is potentially he took characters in the Suicide Squad that were a bit obscure and gave them the spotlight, be able to flesh them out, kind of do a bit more creativity with characters that weren't so prominent. So you had a bit of leeway with these characters, and that's a bit different with the Justice League because they are established. This is how these characters are. These are how these characters act. This is what their backstory is. So I could see that the tone would, because when you watch movies, of course, and there's different directors, the movies have different tones, and you can see a lot of that with the DCEU. You have some movies that are darker, you have some movies that are a bit lighthearted with more comedic to it, and sometimes they don't exactly feel like they're sharing the same universe. Like, honestly, Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey and Emancipation of One Harley Quinn does feel different than Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad feels different than Shazam. But I haven't said that, since if he is able to be a good enough director to focus on different characters, flesh out these characters, do a good job with the story. Would I want comedy in the Justice League film? Yes, because even with the Snyder Cut, there was some humorous moments here and there, but it wasn't as funny as like the Joss Whedon cut. So it did maintain that dark tone that I've actually really enjoyed from the DCE. Moment in it. I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, look at Brightburn. Brightburn is not a funny movie. That is a horror movie. It's dark. You know what I'm saying? It's very grim, and I would love to see that if he were to continue pick up the Justice League and continue on with the story of it. Also, as far as Justice League versus Suicide Squad, maybe before Superman came back, then I would have been like all for it. But since Superman is back, not really. And I'm thinking, and my thing is with the JL versus Suicide Squad is, and somebody else has said this too, and I completely agree with them. Almost every character from the Justice League can just beat almost every character. Just one of the characters from the Justice League can beat almost all the characters from the Suicide Squad. There's no Suicide Squad. Well, I'm not gonna say there's no Suicide Squad because there are some very powerful members that do eventually come into it. Because the Suicide Squad is a revolving and Deadshot are some of the more prominent ones that you do see more often than not. King Shark being one of them as well. Killer Frost, I believe, but I'm going by the animated movies with that one. But typically Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot. But if you look at like the rest of these characters, I don't really see them being able to like fight any of the Justice League members. But if they were to get some better characters or more powerful characters, I would be like, okay, maybe. But that'd be something I would say be further down the line, not just picked up now after the Suicide Squad. Maybe after the next Justice League movie, which I hope isn't going to take 10 years to make. Give me my Justice League in like another 2 or 3 years. I'll be got all of these movies and stuff they're going to be putting out. There's no reason not to have it. And now that I think about it, there is another Justice League movie. Will Shazam be a part of it? And will Green Lantern be part of it? So there is that as well. But from what I've seen of James Gunn and what he's done, I hope he does continue to work with you. I hope he does make another movie, maybe another movie or two for them, because I think the man does have talent. He does have a good focus on characters, and I like that about him.